Alrighty, so we are looking at word problems now over cone and pyramids. So, a right cone, okay? So the easiest way to draw a cone is to draw a circle and then to make almost like a pyramid on the other side. Easiest way to draw a cone, okay? So it has a height of 6 feet. It has a height of 6 feet. So if here is my center, here is my radius, this is my height, and a volume of 32 cubic feet. So this is where we're going to have to work backwards. So in most of the problems that we've done up until this point, we've been figuring out, given the two sides or whatever, what's the missing piece. So this is like the volume that you did on that worksheet the other day. So in order to find volume of a cone, we have to do pi times r squared times h and divide that whole thing by 3. Well, I know my volume is 32. I know pi is 3.14. I know my radius is, I actually don't know that. My height is 6, and I'm going to divide by 3. So basically, this is working with our equations, right? Like we've done before. Draw our line. This is what I want to get alone. So basically, this is going to be working backwards, right? So the very last thing I do is dividing by 3. So the opposite thing I would do is going to be multiply on both sides by 3. When I multiply by 3 on both sides, this cancels out, and then I'm just left with what was in my parenthesis. Okay? Now, you can do this a couple ways. You can multiply these two and then divide them, or we could kind of divide individually. So let's divide by that 3.14. So it's 96 divided by 3.14. 30 and 57 hundredths. Then we are going to have that equal r squared times 6. So we are going to divide this by 6. And we are at about 5 1/10. So we've done this before. To get r alone, we need to take the square root. And so my radius is about 2 3/10 feet. My radius is about 2 3/10 feet. Alrighty? So now we're going to look at one similar to that again. So we have another cone. So I have a circle and a thing. I'm going to have my radius and my height. So it says the pile of sand. Oh, sorry. Why don't I write my formula too? Make it easier. All right. So we know that our volume is 610 feet. We know that the diameter is 20 feet. So remember, D divided by 2 equals our R. So 20 divided by 2 equals our R. So our R is actually 10. So I'll have 3.14 times 10 squared times, what is my height? We do not know. And divide that whole kit and caboodle by 3. So our first step, if we are going to get h by itself, is going to multiply each side by 3. Ooh, that's going to be a big old number, isn't it? So I have 3.14 times 10 squared times h, 1830. Okay. Then we can divide by 3.14. And what's that give me? 582.8. In the same step, what is 10 squared? 100 equals h. So, oopsies, times h, my bad. Divide by 100 on both sides. And you get 5.828. All right. And that is actually our answer. We don't have any more steps. So our height is 5, and we'll just round that. 8/10 feet. 5 8/10 feet. If you're like me. Here's our answer, and here's our answer. Okay? So let's look at the next one on the next page. A triangular pyramid. Ooh, this is going to be easier because it's... leave that. So I have a triangle base, and all three are going to come to a point. Okay? Has a volume. Okay, so to find volume, I have length times width times height, all divided by 2 and divided by 3. Or 3 and 2. It really doesn't matter. Okay? So the height is 12. I'm not really sure where the height is, but we'll put it right there. Sounds good. And one of the sides of the triangle is 6. We don't know the other side. So we do know our volume is 180. We do know that we don't know the length. We know the width is 6, and we know the height is 12. Divided by 2, divided by 3. So let's do times 3 on both sides. And that gives us 360 equals the length times 6 times 12, all divided by 2. So let's times 2 on both sides. I'm running out of room. Here, let me write this bigger. Sorry, y'all. Apparently, I did not think through how much room we might need today. It's also hard when you have to draw pictures, though. Just is more space, isn't it? All right. All right. So 360. Oopsies. 180 times 4 is 540. So there's that. Times 2 is 1080. It's my bad, y'all. Thank you for telling me. Then we can divide to get L alone by 6. That gives me 180 equals L times 12. So we can divide each side by 12. And we get the length is 15. Okay? The length is 15. So if I go back to my actual paper, This is going to be 15 centimeters.